Hi everyone, I'm Cindy with Hill Country Network. I'm at the American Legion building tonight in New Albany with a very special guest, Stacey Pickering. And he has just been appointed he is the head of Veteran Affairs for the state. Am I correct?
That's exactly right.
Okay, and I know that you have been in the Senate before.
Served in the state Senate, and this recently, I served the last 3 terms as state auditor of Mississippi. And I jokingly told someone earlier today I stepped down from audit and elected office so I could step up to serve our veterans.
I like that. I'm sure the veterans like that too.
Well, it's important, as a fellow veteran, having the privilege to wear our nation's uniform and raise your right hand, take that oath of office. Every one of these men and women in our state of Mississippi, almost, every county, every region is touched by veterans. Most families, one way or the other in Mississippi. We're a patriotic state. And to be able to serve them, not just those that are in our veterans' homes, we have 600 beds in our veterans' homes, almost completely full across the state, but also our students, those that are coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq who are serving, who have served, and have come back and are using their benefits to go to college at any of our universities, at Ole Miss, our junior colleges at Northwest Mississippi, at Etowamba Community College, as well as at Mississippi State. Over 800 students are there, over 600 at Ole Miss, across Mississippi, and they're going to be in that workforce. And we want to make sure we help them find productive jobs. And we've got a lot of initiatives we're going to be starting now that I've come into this new role, that what we can do to better serve our veterans in our communities.
That's great. Sounds like that is a good plan to work on.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. It's a good start.
It sounds like a good start. There are some questions that people wanted me to ask you, like how does your position serve the veterans? Like in your position, what are some of the main things that you do?
Well, what we do, the first thing is for our veterans is our veteran service officers. Most counties have them that are employees of the county, but by state law, we train them. And then I have another 1720 that are on my staff to help veterans and their families navigate the bureaucracy that is the VA and is the Department of Defense. And a lot of times, we'll have grandchildren that are trying to help their grandparents get into our veterans' homes, get their benefits. I had a sweet little old widow lady that was a friend of our family, just came up to me Saturday at another friend's funeral. Her husband died about a month ago, and he would have been served as a captain in the U.S. Navy during Vietnam. And Miss Sue came to me. She said, "We still haven't got my death benefits as a widow, and can you help us?" And today we've been working with our congressional delegation, working with the VA, making sure that we get those benefits transferred that belong to her, as she served right alongside her husband. And so we help our veterans and their families get the benefits that they've earned and that they deserve, and our support. The other side, we have 4 veterans homes: Oxford, Kosciuszko, Jackson, and Collins. We're 150 beds each. It's a nursing facility, but it's more than a nursing home. As one of our veterans said, rolled past, said, "Thank God I'm not in a nursing home, but I'm in a veterans home." These are other men and women who have served our country, and they're in those veterans homes. We get to feed them, care for them, and a lot of them through the end of life. And then at that time, one new thing that we've instituted, when one of our veterans dies who's been on hospice in one of our homes, we drape the stretcher and the bed with the American flag, bring him to the central hallway, announce to all the residents that Mr. Smith will be leaving for the very last time. We play taps as they come down, and you watch these 90-year-old, 80-year-old veterans who are in wheelchairs stand and try to stand, and they raise that hand to salute that flag and their fellow servicemen and give last rites and last honors as they leave our veteran home for the last time. Those things make it so special. And I've gotten to participate in several of those already. Just happened to be at the home here in Oxford 2 weeks ago when we had that take place. So it's a very special time to get to serve our veterans. And then we have 2 cemeteries, one in Newton, one in Kilmichael, right outside Winona, where it's a national shrine. It looks just like Arlington. Got the military headstones, and we get to inter. We have almost 800 veterans and family members interred in Newton. We've gotten right at 50 already here in Kilmichael. And the exciting news, December the 7th, we have a gentleman from Mississippi who was killed in Pearl Harbor. He was on the USS Oklahoma. His remains have just been identified, and his family wants him buried at our State Veterans Cemetery in Kilmichael. We will do it at 2 o'clock on December the 7th. And we invite the public to come and join that great honor, that privilege we have to inter him here at a very sacred spot in Mississippi.
Wow, I've got chills. That's so great. And the veterans, they're such a great segment of our society. They're just I'm glad of what you're doing for them.
Well, it's a privilege, and we have to stand here in this American Legion and this museum to our local veteran community here in New Albany tonight. And we have these in every county, every city across Mississippi, where just like this poster over here, you see highlights of a family that has served generation after generation. I know myself, I'm a third generation, has served in the military in my personal family. And just the great thing is earlier this week, my son signed his contract papers with the Air Force ROTC at the University of Mississippi. Wow. And it's great to see that tradition extending to the next generation of Mississippians who are saying, I will stand in the gap. I'll be the watchman on the tower to defend our freedom and defend our rights.
That's an honor. That's great. I know you are a chaplain, right?
I am. I serve as a chaplain in the Mississippi Air National Guard, still serving. And I have served 3 tours on active duty and will continue to do so. I'll be at Tyndall Air Force Base in October.
Got a busy calendar there. You do. Let me check these questions. What is the criteria for getting help if you're a veteran?
Well, it depends on what service you're looking at. A veteran's, status, we like to see it in the broadest sense of the term for honor and recognition. Anyone that's worn the uniform, Guard, Reserve, active duty, we want to say thank you. A lot of our Guard served during peacetime, or even some right now that I serve with have never deployed because their job keeps them here on the home front in the National Guard, and they deal with hurricanes and ice storms and all of those things, tornadoes that strike our neighborhoods, but they've never deployed downrange. Luckily, Congress just recently passed a status and said if they serve their 20 years, they're recognized as veterans now, and they should be. But, to be in one of our homes, if they've ever served in the Guard, Reserve, or active duty just one day, they qualify to live in a Mississippi State Veterans Home. To be buried in one of our cemeteries is the same thing. But to receive benefits from the VA, to be able to go to the VA Medical Center in Memphis or Jackson or Biloxi, there's certain criteria of active duty time that has to be satisfied and spent that meets the federal definition. Most of that is if they're a Guard or reservist, they've been called to a specific time of active duty or wartime, that is specified. And if they serve that complete term, it's not a number of days, then they meet the term for veteran because they served what they were called up and asked to do. But many people, it's a 2-year window. You serve 2 years active duty in any capacity, you're a veteran of the United States military. So it depends on what benefits we're talking about, what services, but as far as a Mississippi State veteran, to receive the benefit of our home, access to the veterans' homes, access to our veterans' cemeteries in Newton and Kilmichael, if they've worn our uniform and raised their right hand and been recognized and received honorable discharge, then they have right to those benefits.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you and good to be with our veterans here in New Albany tonight.
It is. And could you give us the name of your website if someone had questions or would like to get in contact with you or someone on your staff?
Absolutely. Our website is vab.ms.gov, veteranaffairsboard.ms.gov.
All right. Well, thank you again. Nice to meet you. And thank you guys for watching, and you know where to go if you want to ask any questions or have anything to post or comment. And I'm Cindy with Hill Country Network.